don't know where to start. My story is not like an activist like anybody else, so I wasn't one of these people that was running around trying to do all the stuff that y'all was trying to do. This stuff is new to me, and it's like inspirational to me too, because y'all are standing up for something that, or things that back in the days that people really didn't care about, people didn't pay attention to, or things like that. But my story is, is of a father. You feel me? I got two sons. One is biologically mine and one is not biologically mine. I go to school, I'm trying to be an electrical engineer. I'm trying to put myself through college and all kinds of stuff. So when this BP disaster happened, I just figured, hey, this is gonna be a quick some money, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna support my family, I'm gonna raise my children, because with my children, they don't have a mother. My son's mother, she died giving birth to him 4 years ago. So all these two children have is me. So when I got this job, they rushed us through this training. They sat us in this class for 2 hours, and they said it counted for 40 hours. So we sat in the class, and they gave us all this stuff. They told all the men to shave their faces because you can't wear a respirator over your face, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. They gave us all these rules. So my first day at work, they put me on well, they call it boat, the stuff that they was throwing in the water to suck up the oil. They put me on the boat, well, put me on 2 boats actually. It was one like a little fishing boat that we had to stand on and jump from one side to the other side, from off this boat to another boat. I fell and cracked one of my teeth. That's how I ended up being a supervisor. Because they didn't want me to tell that I didn't have the actual training. When the OSHA woman came around, they didn't want me to tell her that I did not have the training. So they made me a supervisor right then. I'm mouth bleeding and everything. They made me a supervisor right then and there. So that part of the story, it was funny. I was even laughing when they gave me my team and they was asking me questions and stuff. I was laughing because I was like, man, I just got this job yesterday. So like, I really didn't know what to tell people. But they gave us, well, I work for a company named Roy Anderson, and on the coast, Roy Anderson built all the big casinos that you see on the coast, Hard Rock, and all the casinos. That's Roy Anderson. That's what they do. They're construction. But when I started working for Roy Anderson, they decided to branch off and do an environmental company. So I was working for Roy Anderson Environmental Company. Nobody over me knew anything. I didn't know anything. Nobody knew anything really. But I do know that. Well, I'm just talking about one particular occasion where we were on a beach. It's called Silver Slipper, and the tide comes in. When the tide comes in, it goes about 100 feet onto land, on the grass. More people in front of people's houses. It was a trailer park right there. It was in front of people's houses and all kinds of stuff. So one day it was about 5 degrees. I was on the bus. Sitting on the bus, me and the bus driver with the air conditioning on, and everybody else was out working. And all of a sudden, I heard on my radio talking about we got a man down, man down. So I ran out the bus to do what I was supposed to do. So I ran over to this woman, and I was watching her just throw up everything she had, just throwing up, throwing up, throwing up, throwing up. So I asked her, I said, what's wrong with you? And she was gasping. She said, call the ambulance. I looked at her, I called the ambulance. I did everything that they told me to do. So I called the ambulance, I rode with her. So I was like, what's wrong with you? She said, the fumes is doing something to me. So me being younger than her, I wasn't really understanding it, but I walked out, I started smelling the fumes, my stomach rolled. I said, okay, maybe it's something I ate, didn't agree with me. 3 days later, I was in the hospital, I couldn't breathe. IVs, tubes, I'm talking about they had all kinds of stuff in me that I've never even seen before. I'm talking about, I got me on all kinds of heart monitors and everything. I've never had the flu. And I'm talking about I was to the point where I felt like I was gonna die. Like, seriously. I couldn't breathe. It was like, people asked me questions. I couldn't say anything. I'm talking about my son called the ambulance for me because I wrote on a piece of paper because he thought I was playing. When he came in the room, he looked at me, he said, man, stop playing jokes with me, man. What's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with you, man. He started pushing me. He said, man, it ain't nothing wrong with you. And I looked at him. And I said, and I wrote down on a piece of paper, boy, something wrong with me. And that's the only thing I wrote, boy, it's something wrong with me. He called the ambulance. It's funny now, but when it was happening, it was real scary. It was real scary. Because all kind of stuff was flashing through my head like, Because, again, my oldest son is 12. My youngest son is 4. When his mom died, that left me with the oldest boy, and he was 8. You see what I'm saying? So, like, for the last 4 years, I'm all he got. You know, he look up, I'm it. You know what I'm saying? His real father is on drugs, so it's not like I'm going to send him back to this man. You see what I'm saying? So really, I am all this boy has. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, it was scary to me, because I was just like, damn, he done already lost his mom. Now he finna lose the only daddy he ever knew. And for what? For a lie. Because these people told us, and I'm telling you, I'm telling you, they told us, they said that with 48 hours of that oil sitting in the water, that everything hazardous would dissipate into the air. They told us this. They told us, they was walking around, they was walking around, and they had everything on. They had respirators, they had everything. Tyvek suit, Tycam suits, everything. If you don't know what that is, it's the little white suit, the little spaceman suits that you see people walking around with. It's those. But if you pay attention to the media, the actual cleanup, the people that was actually doing the cleanup was not wearing those suits. Because it's OSHA certified, classified, that if you work in that suit, you can only work in it for 15 minutes and you have to break for 45 minutes. So what they were doing was, they were taking out these suits and telling people they didn't have to work in these suits. You don't have to worry about the oil. The oil is great. You know, you can play with it. You can rub it in your skin like lotion. All kind of stuff. They would tell us anything to make us just be okay with going out here and working with just gloves or just these boots. And then, like, it was a rush. This is where the big thing came in at. This is what people don't know. The beach cleanup really only lasted until the 4th of July last year. For the simple fact of, that's all, the only thing that the mayors was talking about was their beaches being cleaned by the 4th, because tourist money, and they wanted their tourist money, and this, that, and the other. So yes, around the 4th, you seen plenty of beach workers. Everybody on the beach, you seen more than it was supposed to be out there on the beach. But after the 4th, it was really, they cut crews down so bad to where it was like, you walk out on the beach and see oil, and you could report it. Like, there was a number that you could call and report. When you see oil, like regular people see oil on the beach, call and report. To where they would call the strike teams, and strike teams were overworked like mine. They would send to us 2 and 3, nah, I'm not gonna say 2 and 3, like 150, 75 miles from place to place to place, picking up oil where they already had people there. You see what I'm saying? And then like, they told us these stories about, we don't need respirators. You only need a respirator if you're out in the water, or if you're out doing this or you're out doing that. But I'm living proof. I have watched people fall over, holding their chest, cannot breathe from this stuff. And that's the, I don't want to tell you what it really looks like, but this stuff is killing people. It's like really serious. I get spots on my skin, like, I've been to dermatologists and everything. By the time I get to the dermatologist, it be done went away. So they'll say something like, well, it's a miracle. You don't have it. But it's not a miracle, because it's things that's going on that if you don't pay attention to your body, you will never notice. People having headaches, like behind their eye headaches. Like me, I get headaches all the time. Now, I never had a headache before. Never had these problems, all these health issues that I'm having right now, I've never had these issues before. So my thing is, I'm worried about if this just happened a year ago and I got all these symptoms right now, what's going to happen to me in 5 years? You see what I'm saying? What's going to happen to me in 10 years? Better yet, what's going to happen to my children? Who's going to take care of my kids? You see what I'm saying? Who's going to do the stuff, you know? Who's going to take care of my children? That's period, point blank. And it's like, when I chipped my teeth on the boat, my project manager, he gave me a number. He said, this is the BP insurance company. So I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I just gonna go. You know, I got the insurance, BP insurance. I'm in there. So, when I went to the hospital to get my tooth checked, because I still had to go get my tooth checked because my mouth was bleeding. So, I went, I did the checkup. The doctor sent me to the dentist. I went to the dentist. $2,200 to fix 2 teeth. Somebody is still waiting to pay $2,200 to fix these teeth, because I don't have $2,200 to fix my teeth. I got children I got to take care of. You see what I'm saying? And when I called this number, this BP insurance number, the woman told me that she didn't have any paperwork on any of this stuff. So I got down, did everything I was supposed to do. Got down with my project manager. He documented it. I faxed it to the woman. I faxed it to somebody. I called the number back. The number was disconnected. Where do they do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's amazing to me the lengths that these people went You know, to hide the truth, the facts. They just had I heard before I left from Mississippi, they had on the radio, it was a man from BP, I don't remember what his name was, but he was on there talking about, well, it's been a year, and thanks to all our hard work and this and that, the oil is clean. No, it's not. No, it's not. When we were on the beach, like, I had some guys that were actually digging under the sand to look for oil, and it was there. My project manager told me to tell them to stop digging, and when they came off the beach, he sent backhoes out there just to flatten out the sand. Flatten out the sand. So that means it's no telling how much oil is under the sand, right there at the water's edge, or, you know, it's all out there, and like I'm saying, please, you know, make as much noise as y'all can to get people down there to clean the coast. But don't make the noise just for them to clean the coast. Make sure that these people have the right stuff. You see what I'm saying? When you see these people on the news and you see them in t-shirts and regular jeans, and that's not proper, you know, equipment. That is not what they're supposed to be having. They should have respirators. They should have all kinds of things, you know, because they are putting people in a real hazardous situation. When we was on the boats, they used to fly the planes with the disperser. They used to fly the planes right there by our face. Right there, I'm talking about, like, if I had a rock, I could throw it and hit the plane. And just hear, I'm talking about, when you hear this stuff coming out, it's like another jet engine, you know what I'm saying, shoot. It's like, and it's going everywhere. This stuff is going everywhere. People ducking their heads, turning, and I'm telling you, people is getting skin reactions, all kinds of stuff. But the main thing is the breathing. People can't breathe. You know, people can't breathe. And if you can't breathe, how do you live? You know, if you can't use your own lungs to breathe, because they're not going to leave you on it. They're not going to leave you in the hospital on all those machines for so long if you're not coming around. And I'm living proof to that, because they were talking real reckless when I was in there, talking about how are you going to pay for this. I was like, well, call BP. Like, well, we don't have a number for BP. I said, well, this is their fault, so you're going to have to call them. And I don't know. That's pretty much where I'm going to leave it at, because I don't know what else to say.